and welcome to episode 7 of COASTCAST. We have Rachel and John back from the travels.
Yay.
You alright?
Back.
We're buzzing about this, aren't we? Because it's difficult just having to talk to Chris all the time.
Have you missed her?
Yeah?
Yeah, we did actually.
Oh,
You know, what have you been doing?
I don't really know where we're up to, what we were doing last week.
Oh yeah, because
I was the bridesmaid dress emergency.
Oh yeah, you had to go and do bridesmaids.
Oh yeah, I had another one yesterday and I might have forgot about it, so
I
might be back to square one. Anyways, well,
but Lindisfarne Festival, you were working there?
Yes, so it was Leeds before that.
Oh yeah, of course.
We were at Leeds Fest.
Oh, we need to talk about our Leeds escapades as well.
Leeds was beast. It was so good, so much fun.
It was good for you.
I was a guest. It was nice to be a guest and not actually have to work. Yeah, but I was a bougie guest, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were.
VIP
What's
treatment.
a bougie guest?
You know, like you just get your wristband, you just get pushed somewhere, and they're like, "There you go play."
Oh wow.
Well, that's kind of what happened to us as well. We got given all of these access wristbands and just go anywhere apart from in the dressing rooms.
Yeah.
Then we were like mint, so I had a good look about the site and all that. And then when we went to watch bands, it was like nobody I wanted to see, and there was just like kind of children everywhere. And so we weren't drinking, we were, so we had.
No, we weren't.
Oh, you have to be drinking at Leeds Fest to enjoy that.
Any fest.
But we stole Imagine Dragons catering.
Did you?
In a certain amount of catering.
What did you
and
get?
We with them. It was lush.
Spicy cabbage.
Spicy cabbage.
Did you?
Oh,
I got spicy cabbage and it blew my face off. It was like
got into this bit. It looked a bit too posh for me.
It's like the marquee with the table.
Yeah. Red tablecloths, flowers and candles and everything. I was like, John, this is
Do you have the chocolate cake?
No, I didn't have the chocolate cake.
That's really good.
I had the chili, but then he was like, where's your meal tickets? And we're like, don't know. And I'm just pointing up with badges. He went, all right, Imagine Dragons times 2. And I was like, I just took the bass player as tea.
I think you might have.
So we got out.
Never mind it.
Eat that outside, eat it quick, and just get out of this place. He's like, I can't. This cabbage is too spicy.
See, we boxed ours up because we didn't want it. So we're like, oh, we'll have it for a midnight snack, and that's exactly what I did. But dry chicken with like soggy chips that are cold for a midnight snack.
I'd rather have that than bloody cabbage. Oh, cabbage.
It might have kept better.
I think I'd rather starve than eat cabbage.
So, well, we were very appreciative of being invited
absolutely,
along.
It
was
was
good.
Fun.
It was nice to have a look at the site and stuff. Obviously, running the festival ourselves, seeing how they operate on a much bigger scale was really
That's
good.
what I'm interested in when I go, is how they do things.
Well, we went backstage behind the West Stage and just had a look around. It was now going on.
No.
Just a ghost town.
Yeah.
It was like bands on stage, but behind.
But that's because there's nothing there that people want to be there for.
Gone are the days when everybody's hammered backstage
Yeah.
doing all sorts of palaver.
That's just in the dressing rooms now, man. But you missed Saturday though, didn't you? You didn't stay.
No, we didn't stay for Saturday. You went on Saturday, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell me about it.
Just can't remember.
I can't really remember. I think I might have been
Watched
drunk.
some music, drank some drinks.
We watched because by the time you get there and then figure out where you are, you've kind of missed most of the people you want to see. So we caught a bit of Falls. Me and Dean ventured into the actual main arena. And then we got halfway through and we thought, this is a bit too chaotic. We're going to just head back. We were going to go find a co-op, but then we realised the co-op's like off-site.
I wonder, I saw loads of co-op uniforms. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, they've got a little shop for obviously campers, don't they? So we went and watched a bit of Falls and then we came back. I can't remember who was playing before the boys. That's really bad.
I can't remember.
But anyways, didn't watch any of that.
Shame on you.
I went up the tower thing though. The tower thing's really cool.
Front of house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never been up there before.
We
got passes for that.
We were allowed to go there, but we just didn't. It was just awkward.
You get further than me. What the hell?
We had on stage as well. We could have stood on the side stage.
The balcony.
It's just awkward though because everyone's working and you're just like milling around and just being nosy and like you just don't want to get in anyone's way. So we just kind of.
There was some other staff looked at it and went, your tour crew's not as bad as these lot. And we were like, okay.
When I was helping myself to free coffee and biscuits. That band, you know the band, the indie band who was caught a little bit of in that little side tent.
In the little tent?
The Goa Express.
They're really good.
Yeah, they were great. And I think we caught the last 2 songs with them and I was like, I know this band. And then I was like kind of scrolling through all my Spotify and stuff. I've got them on a playlist.
Yeah, they're really good.
I've heard a song, Goa Express. They were really
Didn't
good.
we try and get them for Coast Fest?
We did try and get them for Coast Fest, yeah, but just didn't quite get over the line.
No, I didn't realise they were playing.
To be honest, I think it was going to be a last edition, but our budget kind of ran out. But
it was at that point I realised I was 43. looking into that, it was just like a sea of
It
like
was.
16,
It's
17,
not.
18
It's not as
years
bad as Transmit though. Go there and you get shell shocked. Like
old. Yeah.
it's
Is
another level.
Well, we felt Leeds was a bit like a GCSE leavers party, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it was just
Did
just
you not
kids
think
everywhere.
it wasn't as mad as what you thought it was going to be though? Because when we were out in the crowd, we thought there was going to be like kids on the floor, like
No, it
everybody's
wasn't.
absolutely steaming. But
Seeing that we were on my way home by 6 o'clock.
Oh my god.
Went to the
Jesus.
Grove.
we
and then went
got on site at 3 o'clock.
yeah.
Got on site at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock till 6. You did a 3-hour stint, and that was it.
It felt like longer though.
It was a whistle stop. Went in, stole some food, stole some coffee, and nicked off.
There was a lush bit. What was that little bit we went into the lounge and had like like dressing tables and stuff like that, and there was some lass just straightening her hair in the middle of this place, and we're just like, what's going on here? And there was like cushions, and there was like, this is nice.
yeah.
When we tried to get upstairs to watch from the
Oh, that little
Oh,
it was like a tranquility like.
it's like they've got massage tables and that,
and all that, but you couldn't get a seat like.
toilet was spot on in there, where they were actually clean.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've been away as well, haven't you, John?
I have. Although I hear from the last podcast that my voice was still here.
Yeah, it was.
At the end.
It was,
Who did
yeah.
that, by the way?
Both of them.
Both of them.
Both
The
of
first one and the second one. Chris.
Coast Fest.
All right, mate.
Describe Chris Fest in 3 words.
3 words. No, I've been on holiday to Devon. Well, I was booked. Me and Brian were booked to play a festival called Firefest.
It's a
in
bit of a cursed
Sidmouth.
name, that one,
Why
isn't
would
it?
you call it Fire
Well, because
Fest?
it's the stage is so there's just a big fire in the middle.
F-I-R-E,
yeah,
not
big-
F-Y-R-E.
No, no.
Have you seen that documentary on Netflix, the Fire Festival? As soon as you said it was called Fire Festival the other day, I was like,
He's
weird.
doing it again though. They're rehashing
Just a
it.
big bonfire, and everyone gathers around this big bonfire, and the stage is on one side of the bonfire, and you just play from the stage
That's
there.
nice.
It was mint. It was little. It was a small.
It also
festival.
sounds like a big risk assessment though.
Yeah, well,
Sounds nice and cosy though, like, but it was nice to be out.
it was good during the day. We had nothing to do, so before we played, so we went into Sidmouth, which is like the village on the coast. Beautiful place. And me and Brian gave each other £5 limit to go around the charity shops and choose an outfit for
Love
each
it.
other for the gig.
Really?
Yeah, so we looked the right clip, honestly.
You still wearing
I've still got it. and then we went down onto the beach and did a photo shoot.
We'll get that picture of Gemma and then we'll see if we can get that within the
Hey,
video.
he's not done you dirty though.
No, I don't know. Them shorts are pretty.
I think that's
That's what
actually
you normally wear on a
that's out
Saturday
there.
night anyway.
John, I've seen you wear worse than that at
So-
buses.
Thanks, guys.
It's like a Vans photo shoot.
Yeah,
That.
but because it was a long way to drive just for like one night in Devon, so
Yeah.
me and Kate made like a couple of
There's a
days
song
on
there,
either side of
One
it.
night in Devon.
So we went to
I've
on
done
the
it
way.
to
We
you.
went to Glastonbury and walked up the big Glastonbury tour thing.
Oh, Lord.
But I thought Glastonbury would be really cool. I've never been before. I've never even been to a festival. But it's just a village full of like,
Old people.
yeah, old hippies and shops that sell stones. Basically, every second shop sells stones and crystals.
Each
It's
to their own, I
Yeah, it's
suppose.
very weird, but it was nice. And then we had a couple of days afterwards near the Cotswolds.
Oh,
But I met this hippie woman at the festival. She was like the most hippie I've ever met. You know what I mean? And she heard that I'd killed a wasp in the tent, and she like gave me a wasp lecture,
Oh.
like in the nicest possible way. But you know, when you like there's hippies in front of me going, "Do you know how long wasps have been on this planet?" And like telling me like what they do, and the fact that in the summer they eat all this stuff off the plant that gets them stoned, and then as the autumn comes, they eat all the apples that have dropped off the trees, and that gets them pissed. So wasps basically spend the whole of summer and autumn either stoned or shit-faced.
Hey, it sounds like Linda's
Just
song.
explains
I was
it.
going to say,
Yeah,
it sounds
yeah.
like this one,
Yeah,
or
it
even
does.
Glastonbury.
So I was like, okay, I'm like she's telling me what to do for the planet and all that, and I'm like, oh, and Kate was stood there going, yeah, John, yeah, you know. And I was like, for God's sake, don't you gang up with her as well, you know what I mean? And so we left, and that night we had this little like gypsy cabin to sleep in, And right next to it was an apple tree. There's thousands of apples on the floor and friggin' wasps everywhere. Like, literally
You know what you should
everywhere.
have
And I was
done?
like, oh
You
my
should have gone and
God.
got some and put it in that woman's tent.
Yeah.
There you
So I was
go.
like, okay, turn over a new leaf. You've been told by the hippie and by Kate to be nice to wasps. So I was like, I'll turn over a new leaf.
Maybe a wasp
I
on there if you're careful.
Nah, at freaking 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up with a wasp stinging me on my arm. I was like, "Ah." Honestly, it was like payback for the wasps. But yeah, no, it was a good few days. The festival was nice. Played a couple of sets.
Amazing.
Had a nice trip.
Good stuff. Speaking of festivals and events, we have the brilliant Susan French here from Susan French Events, fully kitted out in her crew girl.
Boiler
what was
suit.
it? Boiler suit.
Yeah.
What is it? How you doing? You all right?
I'm good, yeah.
Very good. Susan, just a bit of context, runs a company, correct us if I'm wrong here, who shows people how to get into production and rigging and things like that. And you actually sent a few of your staff along to COASTCAST to give us a hand, which was amazing, by the way, because we couldn't have really done it without them. You know, we needed those extra hands because our budget's quite low, and they all came in and gave us a hand, which was absolutely amazing. So thank you for that. But if you just want to tell us a little bit about like what you do exactly, because I'm probably not the best qualified to explain.
No, ma. So I run a specialist training company that works with people to get them fully qualified in all areas of live music production, really. So everything from building stages, crewing, lighting, sound, costume, wardrobe, music photography, music. We do studio recording as well. We do all sorts. We go right across the board to make sure that people are qualified in the most up-to-date skills so they can walk straight into the workplace and get jobs straight away. So we run like 6-week sort of boot camps, which are really intensive and shows them lots of different jobs, meet loads of different employers, get them into the workplace, then hopefully they'll go on having a really successful career and make me look really good.
That sounds really. I wish there was something around like that when I was a bit younger.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because I think I would have been.
Sounds like I would have got into stuff like that.
Well, there's a few people who we know who actually helped. Like Michael Jacksy did it.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to him about it, and he said it was like a really good thing for him to do, because he's been in music for years, but he's like learning about kind of like the background of like things like production and rigging.
Well,
and
that's
things
it.
like
It helps keep people employed. So
Yeah.
I love it when people come and they say, I want to be a rock star. And I'm like, yeah, we all do. So go and be a rock star. But let's make sure you can pay your rent while you're trying to be a rock star and do it in the business. So that's where you get to know people, you get your opportunities and be around it and really understand your craft. And if you can pay your bills doing something you love, isn't that much better than going sitting in a call centre where you want to boil your head every day?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's just about being around the right people. And what we realised was people were coming out of college and out of university with loads of academic knowledge, but they can't do the job.
Yeah.
And the skills are so outdated because colleges and universities are teaching people what the curriculum says they have to learn rather than what the industry needs. So we've just basically ripped all that up and we have like all of our specialists are all working in the industry all of the time. So the sound engineers, they work with the Rolling Stones, the tour managers who are touring now with big bands, and they are coming in and teaching people the most up-to-date things that's happening now in the industry. So it makes them much more employable than someone really coming out of university and college who've got degrees but don't know what wires do what and can't plug it out in.
If there's one bit of advice I would ever give people is if you know what you want to do in that area, don't go to university like I did. Because
Me too.
You're
I
at
went to
university and then you're like, I don't actually know. I've learned everything I know by doing it.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly what I was just about to say. So I'll reiterate that. I went to university to do an events management degree and I was out of it by 8 weeks. I was like, this is not.
Mate, I did 2 years.
I'd already put
Still
on
didn't
numerous
know.
events before that, and when I went there, I felt like it was like literally just like very, very basic stuff. And I know you do a lot of things like you had. You actually was in here. You had a talk with who was it?
Yeah, Zippy Cooper.
Yeah, Zippy Cooper. What was it?
She's Blair's production manager.
Yeah, and I thought that was when you spoke with us and says, "Oh, can I use Alfie's for this?" I thought that's a really, really good thing for people to get a bit of inside information from somebody who's like been there and done it.
I think when you've got a real human in front of you who's doing it, not a lecturer who's taught themselves how to do it, and are just following a curriculum, it's a much different experience because then you can physically see who you want to be is stood in front of you, and that opportunity actually becomes much more real. So we had a last Jess Robinson with us. She'd been working in just cafes for years and years. Always loved the music business, didn't have a clue how to get in. As you know, everyone thinks it's a closed shop. We know different, like we've all getting there. But what she did, she came to us and just said, I can't continue the way I'm going. I'm 30. am I too old to learn? I was like, definitely not. And she's like, now she's driving bands around. She's going into tour management within a space of like sort of 8 weeks of finishing the program. She's working in festivals, she's on the road with bands, she did some work for Newcastle Fringe Festival doing their sound. She's just constantly on the go up and down the country, just loads and loads of work, because she just applied herself and put herself in front of the right people. I mean, she was ringing people and they were saying to her, we don't need anyone. So she'd get all her crew gal crap together, turn up on site, and they'd say someone hasn't turned up, and then she'd be straight in again. Her name's just getting out there, and she's just going to be hugely successful.
It is about turning up, though. You're right.
Yeah.
It's about turning up and being willing to listen and learn.
Well, like I think we've spoke about this in previous pods and stuff as well, and online when like we're thanking people and things like that. We couldn't have run our festival without people just turning up and wanting to help and put their skills to use. And if someone like Jess.
She was on your event.
Yeah, she was doing. I worked with Jess at the Who.
Oh yeah,
she was on
ago. VIP.
Yeah.
So if you turn up and you're putting yourself in the shop window, so to speak, they're the people who are proactive who are going to get the work.
Well, that's how I started.
You'd be asked back to everything else that people are running. If you see people working hard, you go, right, we'll have them for that.
Well, it goes off recommendations, doesn't it? That's how I started at Lindisfarne by literally bugging the life out of the guy who runs it. And I was like, please just give us anything. This is what I can do. This is what I want to do. But I don't mind. I'll make you cups of tea. And that's basically what I did for like a year.
You've been there 8 years now?
I've been there 8 years, and I've just worked my way up and then brought all of that knowledge to COASTFest. And it's about making the contacts, listening, learning. Even if it's something you don't think you want to learn, it'll come in handy like down the line, won't it?
Yeah. I also noticed that you go like out on location as well quite a lot. With students, is that the correct word?
Learners.
Yeah,
or whatever you're most comfortable with.
I noticed that you've been at the Clooney a few times. Was that for like live production? Was it?
So we do the majority of our training out of a classroom and get everyone hands on as much as possible. So we use NX, we use the Clooney, we basically use anywhere that we can get in. We were down at Download Festival. You were just talking about festivals there. Yeah. I felt your pain completely. I went to Download first time I've ever been. Horrific. Yeah. Honestly, it was so hot and so loud and so many young people. I was really pleased that someone took bad and I had to drive them home. It was like a blessing in disguise. She was like, I'm ill. I was like, it's fine, I'll drive you. It's fine.
Welcome to episode 7 of the middle-aged
I just shocked myself daily on how old I am.
Don't like it hot, don't like it sweaty, don't like young people, and I want to eat cabbage.
And I'll be home for 6.
So how long have you been doing this for, Susan? Because I know that you've had the unit upstairs from Alfie and Finn's for maybe
about
6
months-ish. Yeah.
So were you doing anything before that with the same kind of thing with your events company?
So I'm a failed actor, basically. So I wanted to be an actor and went off, did some work and stuff like that, and then realised you've got to be canny rich and have quite a big support network around you. And it was just like, right, we need to still make a living. And then I sort of realised what I just wanted to be around was live production, and it wasn't necessarily acting that I wanted to do. I wanted to be around stages. And everything's just sort of like pieced together. So I used to run venues and do some creative programming for venues and just be around just live production all the time. And I used to watch people building stages. And basically, when I first started out, you weren't allowed as a girl to build a stage. You weren't allowed. Wow. So I'd go into work and I'd get given a clipboard. So 20 years ago, I'd be stood there and they'd say, give the girl a clipboard and mark people in and out, and that's all I could do. But I used to stand watching them thinking, I would love to be hanging all of those lights and up that rig.
When you think about it, especially,
it's not that long ago,
especially how well we're seeing the female members of your crew come in and give us that. It's mad that you weren't given that opportunity.
I wasn't allowed, basically.
We
I was
can lift just as heavy as any man, if not heavier.
I mean, there's a reason I make all of our lasses do forklift, because then they can't say you can't lift it. Well, don't tell that to me machining, you know what I mean? I can lift what you can lift. And because I couldn't do that when the pandemic hit, I sort of stepped back from the industry and thought, what we're going to do to help rebuild it, but rebuild it in a better way. Because I'd gone into an arena and noticed that lasses were still being taught to sit and watch, and this was just before the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
They were still sat down in the corner being, watch this, no, you don't do that, you're a girl. And I thought, I can't have this happening anymore. So I thought, well, I decided I was going to open the company to have this this sort of sister company, called Crew Gal, which look after females on site and make sure everyone gets the same opportunities, but also change the way venues and tours work. So venues, festivals, tour buses, they're just not set up for women to be able to travel around.
I know this by just even going along with the bus. I was like, well, you haven't got anything, like no amenities for women.
There's no amenities.
No.
There's no. It's
no
not
hygienic.
either. It's not sanitary.
No.
I mean, my friend was working at Leeds Festival. She came on a period while she was at work, said to the bloke who was a manager, I need to go at the shop, and he said, no, you'll have to wait till you break.
Wow.
I mean, shut your face. I mean, what you
But also it's lack of knowledge as well.
It
is lack of knowledge on their behalf, and that's something that the industry needs to work on.
Absolutely, and this
get
is
them up to
exactly
scratch.
what we're trying to drive, so that people look at their events, their festivals differently, and that our women are fully supported and they're given the same opportunities, but in a safe place. I mean, still now, women who are going on site and getting sexually harassed, and only recently have been, I mean, I was on one of the sites and it was a very, very big event in the northeast that happened over the summer, where someone, basically there was someone working and they went up and basically said there was going to be some sexual violence taken against this particular worker, and nothing was done, and they weren't even removed from site. She was moved into a different department.
Wow.
So there's so much needs to change, and so many
Things
conversations
do need to change, and it's good that you're
that
doing
we
something
need to.
about
We
it.
need to come together as companies, as venues, as festival providers, as production companies, and say we need this to be a better working environment, because we all know without our production teams the show doesn't go on.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Pay us more money, look after us, and give everyone the same opportunity, regardless of gender, race, sexual orientation, anything. Everyone deserves a right to work safely, regardless of who they are.
Absolutely.
So we're speaking out on behalf of everyone who is too afraid to speak out for fear of losing work, because it's happening, and basically making sure that people can come to us and say, this is what I want to do for a living, but I'm female, the door's getting shut in my face, what can I do? And we give people options and ideas about how to do it. There's a reason Zippy Cooper goes by the first name Zippy, because people don't know on paper she's a woman till she arrives, because she's faced the same prejudice of her not getting the 2 production jobs because she was female to begin with. Now people know her and they realise she's the best in the business, that's fine, but she needed to do that, so she had exactly the same playing field as every other person on the tour. It shouldn't be the case.
No.
Well, I think I'm speaking on behalf of all of us. I think it's a great message what you're putting forward, and I think you're doing a brilliant thing. If anybody wanted to get involved in what you do, maybe come be one of your learners, whatever, how would they go about that?
They can go to www.susanfrenchevents.com or www.crewgal.co.uk. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Amazing.
That's a good
Susan,
plug.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a really, really nice, informative chat, and we really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting us.
No problem at all. I think we are going to chat about our new kind of internet focus group. We call it COASTCAST Community News now. We've had a few things come forward. Feel free to stick about and chip in with this. We are in kind of like a area where we aren't really sure what we want to do about our main stage, because when we did the first Coast Fest, we put on Facebook, should we have our stage underneath a marquee or should we have it out in the open? Now, unanimously, after about 300 votes, everybody wanted the stage outside. However, moving into the second year, knowing what the Great British weather can be like, we are now thinking about potentially having our stage under a big top, especially after what I saw at Lindisfarne Festival at the
I
weekend.
knew you'd be persuaded.
Rachel was like, it's under, don't listen to them, under a tent. I went, no, I'm going to go with the
He's
people.
like, no.
I'm going to go with the people. I went, no, outdoor stage. But yeah, after seeing Lindisfarne, after the
But
disgraceful
that's the
weather
thing,
we had.
you've got to see it, and you've got to experience it one way before you want to change
that's
it.
I'm gonna get the group up now actually, and we're gonna have a look at some of the people's comments on it, because I feel like it's a really, really informative thing if you can ask the actual customer what they want from the festival, and they can give you feedback.
I think as well, if you've like gone to different festivals and you've had a feel for the outdoor stages, but then you've also seen big tops work really well, then it is a thing to think about. Like what's it called? BBC Introducing, they always have it under a big top, and even that gets packed out. Like that, they open the sides to let everybody still be able to hear, but without like the congestion. But when you see a bad big top where it's empty, obviously it's quite scary.
Well, I'll go through a few of the comments. Yeah, I can't go through all of them because, like I say, the feedback's been amazing. Like everybody's like giving their point of view across.
It's just great, though, isn't it? It's great that we're asking the community. I mean, we asked the community to help us deliver leaflets about Coast Fest last year. We asked the community to help in terms of volunteers and stuff like that, and asking the community how they want the festival to be.
Well, because it's their festival,
exactly,
really.
exactly.
You know,
So
we do the graft, but
Yeah.
they're the ones enjoying it.
I love that sort of community involvement. It's
It was
really
amazing
good.
how many people turned up for that. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting 8 or 9 people, and there was like over 40 people turned up just to deliver leaflets. You know?
Shields.
Yeah. No shields are sticking together again. But just a few things. Andrew Longstaff said here, a tent would be a good idea if the weather's naff, but if it's dry and sunny, most people prefer to be in the open air. I think, that is quite a valid point, but how do we know it's going to be dry and sunny? Because, the reason we put this out there and why we're thinking about it is because particularly on the Friday when it was torrential, if you look at the ticket sales compared to the amount of people who were on site, it was like less than half of the ticket sales turned up on the Friday, and it was torrential. Had it been under a big top, we may not have had that.
Yeah, we had really bad luck weather-wise.
The wind issue won't be there. However, you're still going to have stuff outside of the big top as well. So it's a full site for people who want to enjoy it.
It's not like we're closing the door right, you can't get out. But on the other hand, obviously from a promoter's point of view, big tops are expensive. But it does cut down on production costs a little bit because you don't need the rest of the infrastructure. The stage goes into the bottom of the tent. So that's something that we do need to consider as well.
I think it could also help with our sound, just like any sound issues that we might have, any neighbour complaints.
Lessens the sound that goes off-site, doesn't it?
Well, that's one of the last things we want to do. I mean, I said to the council when I was in the very, very lengthy meeting when I had to sit through about getting the premises licence, I said to them, the last thing we want to do is piss off the residents, basically. And I think the wind didn't help us, certainly. We stuck rigidly to the decibel limits, what we were given.
Always under.
Always under. However, the wind blows sound about all over the place, and you could hear it loud and clear. Apparently, you couldn't hear it on the main street going.
You could hear it on our street, just in Percy Gardens, but I couldn't hear it.
You couldn't hear it on site.
Across the road.
It was really weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, my boss lives across the road with a newborn baby, and he said it was absolutely fine.
It was an absolute headache.
Just the wind.
It was a headache.
It's really nice to work other festivals where you don't have that issue. Lindisfarne was like boom, boom, boom till like 4 a.m. because there's no one there.
There's literally no one about there.
Apart from like people who live on the island, but
we're literally on a housing estate as well, like with the street over.
Yeah, so it is really hard. It was one of the biggest hurdles that we've come up against, and I think this might mitigate it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it cost a lot of money for us to be under those decibel readings. We had to employ somebody to come and work and monitor the sound constantly throughout the full weekend, which doesn't come cheap. And there was all sorts of other bits and bobs we had to do, which we didn't mind doing because, like I say, the last thing we want to do is pay off the residents. I want the residents to get involved and come down and enjoy the festival, or even help volunteer and create something good.
But you know, I think this might be trial and error. It might be a case if we've done it 1 year without, let's do it a year with.
Yeah.
And
if it's crap with the tent, we'll go back.
What were the majority of the comments then?
To be honest, it's around about 50-50.
Is it?
But some people are like on the fence. I mean, this is a good one from Rebecca Ferguson here. Saying it sounds like a good idea. Going with the comments that it would be good if we could open up the sides if the weather's nice. The sides of the tent, so that's always an option.
You don't have to have them down at all. You can literally build it with like 2 panels and then have the rest of like 8 panels free. And it doesn't make any difference to the people inside. Yeah,
Michelle Robertson's saying if you can open up the sides of the tent, it's a good idea. Larry Page said, does it come in black and white stripes? Phil Mitchell, who's a good friend of mine and a very respected promoter around these parts, has said he thinks it's a great idea to have it under a tent.
That's not Phil Mitchell from EastEnders.
No,
it's not Phil
Mitchell. He's a Scouser.
He's a fellow Scouser.
I know Phil.
I was going to say, you Scousers stick together.
We do.
And Kerry Hayes wrote, will it be pegged down? Have you heard about that crack when a tent blew away and just tried to tell me that it was pegged down and it wasn't?
It's an incident called Peggate.
Right.
We talk about it regularly on the podcast. Kerry, she's a friend of ours and she does like face paint and stuff like that, and she brought a gazebo. I love talking about this. And the wind caught it during the night, and she came outside and she was absolutely foaming, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And like Ben, our brilliant health and safety advisor and friend, was like literally rang me and John in the we were in the production office. No, we weren't in the production, we were in my tent. We were in my tent, so he's like, quickly get out on site, quickly. I was like, what's going on? And Ben just flying away with his tent.
Massive gazebo.
And then we went and inspected the area where the marquee, where her little tent, was, a little gazebo, and there was no pegs to be seen.
Pegs.
And then Kerry turned up on site, and I goes, Kerry, your gazebo's blown away. It wasn't pegged down. She's like, it was pegged down. I was like, bloody well, it wasn't. And then we went back over those pegs on the floor. So I think she's planted them.
Just to make it look like she did, because she
Make
doesn't
it
want to
look
go back.
Aye. And
She
then the
lost
worst
two
thing
gazebos
is,
though, didn't
the
she?
worst thing is, she then went to like Argos or wherever, bought another brand new expensive gazebo, put that up, and as she was putting it up, the wind caught it and snapped it to pieces. So she lost 2 gazebos.
So
Tons of pegs left, though.
the answer to that, Kerry, is yes, of course it'll be pegged down, you cheeky little shit.
Industrial pegs as well.
Peg gate.
And Kia, who was stage manager on Sunday for Sammy Stage, he said he think it'll appeal to people who know they can come regardless of the weather.
Yeah.
Especially this year, we're going to go fully family friendly, aren't we? So
That was music to my ears, by the way, because I've got
Was
2
it?
kids and I couldn't come for the full
Do you
weekend
know what?
because I
I
needed
think
them to be with
it
us.
was what was missing, but again, it was trial and error. And Ash, who works for you, she had little Poppy just dotting around while she was there for a couple of hours, and just seeing them like enjoying everything, even like backstage, was really nice. So I think
we'll attract a load more people
I
Well,
hope
this-
so.
bring their
this
kids
com-
with
this
them
com-
and enjoy it in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
this comes down to that lengthy meeting I had with the council. I was like in there and I was so desperate for the festival to happen. I was kind of just like nodding and smiling and agreeing and just telling them basically what they want to hear. And to be fair, the council were great. They were really, really good help to us. But like, it was like, oh, they're going to be children because this is going to open up a whole new thing, what you've got to do. And I was like, there'll be a handful of children who are crew.
Yeah.
Crew family members.
Crew family members of that, and they were fine with that. But basically, what their kind of stance on it was, where you say, get it right with the adults first. Second year, you can then bring the kids on site. So that's what we're going to do. And I think maybe it's having a big top where kids can shelter either away from the sun or away from the rain. It'll be a massive addition to the festival. So all of you people who said that you want an outdoor stage, you can all fuck off, because we're not going to have it under a big top.
Yes.
Case closed. Right, no. But if anybody's got any thoughts or any ideas for the festival, stick it on that group, man.
If anybody wants to give her a big top, that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be great.
If anyone's out there who can think of family-friendly activities that they've done on festivals or other events that would be good to have at the festival, get in touch as well.
Absolutely. I think we're just about come to the end of our 7th COASTCAST pod. It's good to have you both back, and Susan, it's been great having you on. So
Thank you very much.
John, are you going to...
Last 2 questions for you. Firstly, what have you got planned in the future? What have you got coming up? What are you busy with at the moment?
So we're doing some work with Generator on the 15th, where I'm facilitating a conversation about minority groups coming to work in live events industry. We are working with lots of big companies up and down the UK, just to really look at how they are developing their sites and things like that, and advising. We've also got skills boot camps running right through the year, so we've got our next one starting next week. We're also working with 16 to 24 year olds right across County Durham, and we've just launched into schools, so we're going into secondary schools to engage with people who are 14 to 16 and not quite sure where they want to be, and they're not enjoying school and they just want to be doing something practical. We're going to be taking some live music equipment in there and show them how to build stages and stuff like that, and show them a different world out there. So
we couldn't even do Jamie, me and Jamie in the same year at school. Like we're kind of like made careers out of like music and stuff like that, and we didn't even have an option to do the GCSE when we were in high school.
Yeah,
I wasn't allowed to go to music because I wasn't from the town where the school was. I lived in a little village, and I was told I wasn't allowed to play guitar because I lived in a village. What's that about? There's the 90s for you.
But it's sad, you're crushed before you've even been built, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it's good that you've.
I had a music teacher called Mr. Sermon who in junior school, because I was playing a violin like a guitar, shouted at me and told me there wasn't a bit of music in me and I'd never ever amount to nothing with music.
Wow.
And I never touched another instrument till I was like 16 years old.
It's so sad because it's
Can't
who
all Scousers play musical instruments? I thought that was a thing.
is that now me? Apart from John and Phil.
Phil, yeah. Phil Mitchell. And last question is, could you describe Coast Fest this year gone in 3 words?
Well, when I knew you were going to ask us this, I totally forgot until I was on my way here. And I thought, what 3 words can I possibly say? And because of all the huge plans that you've got and how I can see it growing just in such a small amount of time and the support that Coastella has, and rightly so, the 3 words I would say is just the beginning.
Oh,
Amazing.
I like it.
Susan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely.